can't do this for the fucking fifth year in a row. I just
Mike,
can't fucking do it. After
Mike,
Tyler Bass shit the bed, after Sean McDermott has been a fucking idiot in the last 2 minutes of the game every fucking year. He almost did it again this Cardinals game, but we somehow held on. Oh wow, thank the heavens in week one. Fuck me. You don't think he's gonna do that at least twice this year? I can't do it anymore. I can't take it anymore.
Welcome back to the Deuce and the Gravel Out podcast. It is episode 21 in the lead up to the Bills and the Jags Monday Night Football 7:30 doubleheader. A lot to get into, a lot of good stuff to talk about. How you guys doing tonight? I'm gonna start going to Trent. How you doing, Trent?
oh, another day, another dollar.
Yeah.
Sun hasn't killed us yet, and the Bills are 2-0, and the Sabres have hope. So it's pretty
The
good.
Sabres have hope. Wow,
That's
a statement.
hey, we've
Hey,
been saying that for feels like
Lindy's
15
running them
years.
hard, man.
He
They're
is.
doing
He's got him
push-ups
doing
at practice.
push-ups. Yeah, he's
Got
got
him
him
doing
doing push-ups.
push-ups at practice and like bag skates. Like that looks like hockey. Like damn.
Yeah, there's a lot to get into here. Obviously, you got an 0-2 team versus a 2-0 team, which I don't think many people will expect probably going into the year. Jags have had a really bad start to the season.
Yeah,
They
I
lost.
expected the Bills to be 2-0.
I mean not in the Bills in a sense, more so
Okay.
the Jags.
Yeah.
Obviously they're 0-2. They lost to Deshaun Watson last week in the Browns. Week one they choked against the Dolphins. This team's been all out of sorts, and we'll kind of dive into what we think about this team. We have varying opinions, I'm sure of, but the Jags aren't playing good football right now, and this is an angry football team that's coming into Orchard Park, and so that could be either
You
really
know how
good or
bad they've
really
been
bad.
playing, Ben?
Go ahead, Trent.
What have you done since Thanksgiving of last year?
A lot.
The
I
Jacksonville Jaguars have not won a football game since
You know
Thanksgiving of
what?
last year.
I forgot about that. I completely forgot about that. That's crazy.
Josh Hines Allen's gone through more names
Whew.
than the Jags have wins.
That's insane. That's wow. Yeah, and I feel like that's just what we got to talk about. And I want to open up the show by asking you guys this simple question because I feel like the Jags are a very polarizing team. They have sort of Trevor Lawrence, who a lot of people I feel like are split on him. A lot of people are believe this guy's a top 10 quarterback, franchise quarterback, no doubt, and there's people that aren't sold on him yet. So, this team has talent, a lot of it. I think I don't think you can disagree with that. But they have a coach who's, won a Super Bowl. Do you guys think Doug Peterson should be on the hot seat considering they have not won much football in the better part of a year now? So I'll go to Trent first. You're the one who brought it up.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like no matter what, if you don't win a football game in like 10 months, I feel like you're on the hot
Yeah.
seat. Especially since what? They were like 8-1, 8-2 at one
D-Law
point
got
last
hurt.
season. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, Trevor Lawrence got hurt, but still, like he came back
No
and they
matter.
He
still
did.
lost. They lost to the
Yeah.
Titans last year. I watched the Tennessee Titans play football because the Bills' life depended on it, and they sucked last year, and they lost to those guys.
Hmm.
And if you keep losing, I mean, it's a simple matter of life. If you keep going to your work and you keep screwing up every single time, or you're not doing your job, you're going to be fired.
Yeah.
Doug Peterson's job is to coach the Jacksonville Jaguars to win, and unlike AEW, you can't script yourself to a win.
Right.
So uh you're
It's a
gonna
nice
have to
little reference
you're
there.
gonna have
I
to
like that.
fit. So here's another thing. Tony Khan's taking more pile drivers than the Jacksonville Jaguars have wins.
Yeah, that's true. Mike, are you kind of in the same boat with Trent as far as him being on the hot seat?
Um, yeah, I mean, if they keep this going, I mean, obviously something's gonna have to give
Hmm.
because you can't just lose, especially when Trevor Lawrence got an absolute bag and you have the roster that they have. I mean, they have the pieces to win. They have solid offensive weapons. They took Trayvon Walker first overall a couple of years ago. They should be, I wouldn't say Super Bowl contenders, but they should be in that conversation at least.
Yeah,
Like
I
with the
agree.
AFC at least. They should be a top four team in the AFC. They have all the talent to do so.
I agree.
They
It
got
starts,
superstar wide receiver Gabe Davis.
yeah,
Brian
and
Thomas looks legit.
he does. And like I said, there is no shortage of talent on this football team. Even if they're 0-2, they're going to present a ton of problems for the Bills. And yeah, I agree. I think Doug Peterson should be on the hot seat. I've never been sold on him as a fan. Even back to his Philly days, like it was a lot of up and down with him. And yes, that was a great year. He won the Super Bowl. Like it was great. That whole run was good. But
There's a
year
reason
to
they moved
year,
on.
yeah,
That
year to year, it's up
it,
and down with
there
him.
was
You know,
up and down that whole season. Like I think
I
people forget that. Like before the playoffs started, people were like, "Hey, Nick Foles kind of sucks. Can we play Nate Sudfeld?"
Nick
yeah,
Foles did suck. He just went on the best Cinderella run
yeah,
we've probably ever seen.
That's just what
yeah,
I just said.
yeah.
Like,
I agree. I mean, like we're talking like you got to have that level of consistency to be stable, a stable franchise in the NFL. And I don't think he's brought that to anybody. He's been like, yes, he's won a Super Bowl, but he hasn't brought sustainability and success over the amount of years he's been there. It's been like a one-off kind of thing. And even with the Jaguars, they had that one really good year where they made the playoffs. They came back against Brandon Staley and the Chargers, and they made it to the divisional round against the Chiefs. They lost, but I mean that's a success for many, many football teams. That's a good year, and they just haven't been able to even come close to that. Even last year, like they should have made the playoffs, didn't make the playoffs. So yeah, he should be on the hot seat. I don't think that should be debatable. I think this is a coach that has a lot of talent at his disposal, and the Jags should be able to take care of business. But
I mean, quite frankly, what was it, like a 99% chance they'd make the playoffs,
yeah, it
and then
was it
they
was
didn't.
as high as you can get, I think, probably. But
I mean, I don't know if that factored in like the Bills, you know, hidden their
yeah,
destiny going 11-6, but yeah, that 99%. How do you retain your job
I don't
if you have
know.
99%
Because I'm pretty
certainty
sure
that
it was
something's
year
going to
one.
happen?
They're not going to fire him year one.
Is
No, it
it?
was year two, I think, or three. Because remember the year they played the Chiefs in the playoffs, he was the coach
Okay,
then. So
okay, okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
he's
yeah,
been there a couple of
I
years
think you're
now.
right because it's like two or three.
Yeah,
Because
this is year three then.
yeah.
did they have a coach between because wasn't it Marone,
It
Urban
was
Meyer?
Marone and then Urban Meyer for
Fuck
that
Doug
like
Marone,
year.
by the way. Fuck you,
Yeah,
Doug.
I agree.
You're a
Yeah.
bitch.
Doug Marone hate in 2024. I love to
Yep,
see it.
you ditched us.
Absolutely.
Run,
You
run,
deserved
punt,
everything you
baby.
got. Yep.
Run, run. How is Nate
Run.
Hackett still in the NFL and Doug Marone
Because
isn't?
he's riding the coattails of
How'd
Aaron
that
Rodgers.
happen?
Which
That's
is
just to
mind-boggling,
be
by the
honest,
way.
Nate Hackett, just a side note, is not an offensive coordinator. It's all Aaron Rodgers. I just want
Yeah,
to point that out.
Nate
He's
Hackett's
literally
not a good
doing
coach.
everything at the line of scrimmage. Nate Hackett,
I was
he has the
watching that
play call
game
sheet.
yesterday. Every Jets coach looks like a douchebag.
So-
Their defensive coordinator has like the meanest, tightest gray beard I've ever seen in my life. You could just tell he looks like a scumbag. Nate
oh my
Hackett,
god.
Nate Hackett, obviously, I mean, we just went in on him. And
Nate
then
Hackett just looks like a goofball. I
Robert
can't even.
Sala, you can fucking Rocky run up and down those fucking stairs before the game as much as you want. If you don't win a playoff game this year, you're going to be unemployed.
We'll be seeing you.
Yep.
Have
Talk
fun,
to
Bob.
fucking Mrs. Sala. Tell her we're
This
moving the
is the
kids.
Jets hate watch I've come to
Trent is
see.
just sitting back eating the popcorn. He's having the time of his
He's
Man,
life
happy.
with the Jets hatred.
You know what? I'll say it. Aaron Rodgers, you're a crackhead.
I mean, he is.
Uh,
Well, it looks like last year, like they forced him to stay in New Jersey, and he realized what actual crackheads looked like, and he got off
yeah,
the
and he's like,
crack
I
this
want to
year.
be like that.
He's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I remember when like I was a functioning member of society and not doing crack in a shed with a shaman, so I should probably stop doing
Yeah.
that.
I want to kind of get into a little bit of the Jags offseason moves, which consisted of the Jags acquiring two former Bills, Mitch Morse, Gabe Davis. One play Gabe, I like to call, who has one great game a month, it feels like. Um, so the Jags kind of have this interesting offseason where they kind of spent a lot of money. They brought in Eric Armstead, Darnell Savage, who was previously a safety. I believe they moved him to nickel. Um, Obviously, they have their great pass rushers, Trayvon Walker, Josh Hines Allen now, I believe. And then they bring in Gabe Davis. They draft Brian Thomas. And it really just doesn't seem like it's gelling right now. They have a new defensive coordinator, Ryan Nielsen, who comes over from Atlanta. And I kind of wanted to get your guys' opinion on like what this offseason was for them because a lot of teams want to make that next step and take that next step to, being in that Super Bowl status, that contender status. I'll go to Mike first. When you reflect on this offseason, do you think they did enough to really catapult them into that position? Or do you think it was just spending money for the sake of spending money?
Giving Gabe Davis $50 million felt like the Knicks signing Jakeem Noah. Gabe Davis is running a lot of cardio, and he looks like hot dog water. He looks terrible.
I agree.
Mitch Morse, okay, good signing, quality signing.
Yeah.
I just feel like this entire offseason for them felt like, okay, well, We started off great. We looked great, but they hit the moderate panic button. They didn't scapegoat anybody, but they were like, we're just going to try to buy our problems away. And we see how that turns out the
Yeah.
vast majority of the time, which is it doesn't work, and thus far it's not working. And I don't know. I mean, I feel like this week's gonna be a really big week for them. I have a lot of strong thoughts when it comes to this game.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
Wow.
if you look at like the probabilities, 0-3 star, I don't know what the percentages are. I don't have it in front of my face, but I'm sure it's like very, very low chances of making the playoffs. And
Here's some probability for you, Ben. The
okay, let's hear
Jacksonville
it.
Jaguars have been around since 1995.
Mm-hmm.
Every season they've ever started 0-2, they've never made the playoffs. So there you go. There's your probabilities.
There you go. Guess they're not
So
making the playoffs.
nope.
Especially in that division. Like I was thinking about this
In the
the other day.
AFC too.
It's the
They didn't make it
AFC.
last year.
Like you didn't even make it last year in divisions. Your division wasn't great. It was a rookie CJ Stroud. That was a good team, but that wasn't a team I don't think would have won a division in any other divisions.
Eh,
Um
They lost
they
to the Titans.
yeah, they really bottled that whole thing. That was a ridiculous collapse. And if you're already 2 games behind the Texans, like, and if you lose this week, I don't see how they can come back from that.
they
I
can't.
don't see
They
you
can't.
can't
The
erase a
Texans aren't going to
3 game
drop a
deficit.
three-game lead.
No, you can't
They
do that.
look too good.
It's they're too good. They're too good to do that. So that's why like you can't play around in these divisions. But even the Bills. I mean, yes, the Jets
Gary
are
Hughes plays on
unproven,
the Texans.
but
By the way, I just want to throw that out.
what's that?
I saw Jerry Hughes sack Caleb Williams. I
He's
just
still
felt
he's still kicking around. I miss you, Jerry.
like
Jerry
like
is
like Gary and
Shout out
Robert
Jerry
Woods are playing
Hughes.
with
Jerry
Stephon
Hughes is one of the
Diggs.
most underrated
Like
Bills ever.
this
I don't
So,
miss you, Nigel Bradham. I don't.
oh gosh, Nigel Bradham. Why?
That's
what are
who
we
we traded for
doing?
Jerry Hughes, if I'm not
What?
mistaken.
No,
No,
Kelvin
it was Kelvin
Shepard.
Shepard. Yeah, yeah, Kelvin Shepard.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Bullshit.
it was Kelvin
no.
Shepard, Michael.
I know you're a little
He went
young
to the
for
Colts. It was
this,
one
but
for one. It was one of the best trades in Buffalo sports history.
yeah, it was Doug Whaley's only good trade he made.
Yeah, I know.
That was
Fuck you,
his
Doug
Oh
best.
Whaley.
gosh, Doug Whaley. I do
That
not
was
miss you.
Oh my
the
God, it
best.
was Calvin Chip. Why did I think it was Nigel Bradham?
Yeah,
I
Nigel
don't know
Bradham
what's
was.
wrong with you.
He went to the Eagles after.
Nigel Brown was pretty good when he was on the Bills.
Yeah, he was okay.
I mean, like the Preston Brown, Nigel Bradham were like, man, this is pretty
They
good.
were
And then
That
solid.
was an
Zach Brown
era.
too.
That was an era. That
Zach
was an
Brown was
era
lucky a
of
Zach
dog.
like,
Brown was Zach Brown was like a dog. Like there's a lot of Bills players. We can talk about out of your Bills that are like,
well,
man,
we
this
could
guy
use
was
them as
really good,
linebackers
and
now.
we're the only team that would talk about him.
Yeah.
Like,
All
oh,
right.
we got Buffalo Joe, man. It's gonna be good.
Let's move forward here. I want to kind of get into the keys of the game because Mike has a lot of strong opinions he wants to get into. This is a very intriguing matchup. I'm gonna just kick us off here, and then I'll pass it around, and we'll kind of share our thoughts. The Jags and the Bills. Obviously, I think the Bills haven't seen a defense like the Jags in terms of what they do. The Bills played the Cardinals a lot of zone coverage, and we saw a lot of zone from the Dolphins. Jaguars, on the other hand, run man covers the most in the NFL at 65%. So they're pretty much spamming man coverage right now.
They're like me and
Um,
Madden.
they're actually one of 3 teams with a man coverage rate above 40%. I think they're the only team above 60%. I'm not sure. You'd have to check me on that. But it's funny because in 2023, the Jags were literally the worst team in man coverage by 27%. They were terrible. And this year they've decided to make the switch and say, we want to be a man heavy defense. We're going to bring in players to do it. And it's just not worked so far. And I feel like man coverage against a guy like Josh Allen is a huge, huge mistake because I feel like, yes, a lot of it has to do with guys separating, getting open quickly, and beating press, beating man. But when those rushing lanes and those rushing opportunities open, Josh Allen thrives. And I think there's going to be a lot of those in this game. Um, Look, the Jags linebackers have played well. Devin Lloyd's been one of the better linebackers in the NFL through weeks 1 and 2. You can look at the numbers; he's been very solid for them. But we've seen it time and time again. No matter who's lining up at linebacker for any team, Josh Allen's going to just say, I'm going to run this motherfucker over. Nick Bolton jumped over. Anthony Barr, he was an all pro, jumped over the motherfucker. Like, Josh Allen will run you over. And so, no matter who's got the green dot on, he's going to get by him. And I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities. And I think the Bills need to attack that.
What happened the
And
last time the Bills played the Jags?
Uh, We're not going to talk
And
about
Dorsey was
that.
our offensive coordinator, all right?
No, that's
No,
fine. That's fine. But what
no, we're
happened
not
last
going
time the
to.
Bills played the
We're
Jags?
not going to talk about
This is
that. Okay.
basic PEMDAS, really.
No, we're not
When
Come
gonna.
Josh
on,
Allen
Michael.
We're not.
cancels out
We're
another
not.
one, it
We're not.
seems.
No, he's Heinz
Because
now. It's
Josh Allen,
okay.
Hines, whatever his name is now,
Heinz 57. It's
he
okay
he
now.
seemed he
It's
seemed to
canceled.
have his number that game,
Seems
and
to have his number. Dog. There's a
Trent, he
reason
had
that
like 3 sacks. He dominated our entire offense
nobody went
at
on
our
the Manning
peak
cast
ability.
after that. There's a
Look,
curse.
Telling you.
I think the offensive line
They're
is
cursed.
significantly better and
It
improved
is.
since
No, it
then.
definitely is.
And with that in mind, I don't think we're gonna see the same result we've seen where the Jags kind of be able to control the game and do what they want on defense. I think the Bills are gonna be able to really they need to establish a run game that isn't predictable. I looked at the stat. Under center, the Bills are the most run predictable team in the NFL at 91%. We've gone over this at great lengths on this podcast. We've been upset about it. Joe Brady spamming runs on first down is the most predictable thing in the NFL right now.
And it'll
Everybody
happen
knows what
again
you're
this
doing.
week. It's going to
Everybody in the
happen again this
stands
week.
knows what you're doing, Joe. Please just play action shot down the field. Open it up a little bit.
He can't.
Joe
He
Brady's a
has
big
to.
fan of
He
the
has to.
Marshawn Lynch mentality of run the ball in someone's face over and over again. And
Yeah.
if we had running backs and linemen to do it, I would 100% be a fan of it.
Yeah.
There's nothing more beautiful in football
Oh,
than just lining
I
up
love the old
and just
smash
punching it.
mouth game.
Yeah, just punch a
If it
dude right in
works,
the
it's
mouth.
great, but when
It's
it doesn't work,
beautiful.
it's disgusting. And so that's kind of one of my going back to my keys. Like opening up the play action and keeping the Jags off balance is going to win you this game. If you're able to not be predictable under center and confuse this Jags defense in man coverage, you're going to win. And there's ways you can eat with Josh Allen in the running game. Joe Brady's done an excellent job tapping into his legs. And again, Joe Brady wasn't the offensive coordinator when the Bills played the Jags last time. So this could be a completely different game plan in terms of what they do. So I'm very interested to see how he's going to use Josh Allen and even Dalton Kincaid in the slot. When you see the man coverage looks he'll get. And obviously, he's the guy that hasn't gotten the target share that we've loved
He's
through
been a
weeks 1 and
ghost.
2. We want him to take that big leap. This is a game for him because this is going to be an opportunity for him to thrive against man coverage. This is sort of what his specialty is. Separating and getting open over the middle of the field. And so I think it's going to be a big game for him. So those are my keys to the game. I'm going to turn it over to Trent now. Trent, what do you think the keys to the game are for the Bills to win this one?
Well, first of all, hopefully they can remember what game it was because I completely forgot the Bills played the Jags in London last year.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, everyone died. Everyone died.
Yeah.
yeah,
Everybody on the
Everyone
defense
got
had
hurt.
some form of injury. It
yeah,
was
The whole fucking team.
I
Yeah.
thought the last time the Bills played the Jags was the 9-6 Urban Meyer game.
Please
So
don't remind me. Gosh.
that's what I thought. So my apologies to the viewers at home for
Yeah. No, you're
forgetting
good.
that the Bills played 6 games at the start of the year.
Yeah.
I know it sounds kind of funny from a Buffalo Bills podcast, but maximize Trevor Lawrence's turnovers because that boy's going to give you the ball. I don't know what happened. I don't know if he Bryce Younged himself into just giving up turnovers at some point. Like he just turns the ball over. Like people want to criticize Josh Allen. At least Josh Allen scores touchdowns. Trevor Lawrence turns the ball over a lot. And one of the biggest things also is that we've seen with Mitch Morris. Mitch Morris probably still has a good couple of years of football left, but he's not a guy that's going to get off the ball really fast and really hard.
No.
So you could, if again, we harped on this week 1, week 2, Ed Oliver finally showed up. The interior offensive line really needs to have themselves a day because
Yeah.
if you can force pressure right up the middle on Trevor Lawrence, they have all those wide receivers, but I don't think that really matters. I truly don't. You got dudes from basketball schools putting the clamps down on Tyreek Hill, and you're telling me I'm supposed to be afraid of some guy named Brian Thomas Jr.?
Yes, you should.
You should be. I want to just.
Brian
I don't want to
Thomas
make
is.
that
You
mistake.
I
telling
am not
me,
gonna sit here and
you
listen to this
telling
Brian
me,
Thomas Jr. slander
No.
right now.
you telling
Brian
I'm
me
not
Thomas
either.
is fucking nice.
they put the
He is
clamps down
nice.
on
He
Marvin
is.
Harrison Jr.
I
and
don't give a
Tyreek Hill,
fuck.
and we're like,
They're two
oh,
different
Brian Thomas
receivers,
scares me.
though. They're different. They're
Oh,
different players.
they're going to scare. You're like, what are
Oh
we doing
man.
here?
Oh my god.
What are
Trent,
we
I
doing
couldn't
here?
disagree with you more. All right. Let me just go start here because I know Michael is. He's gonna need a minute to process. I'll give him a minute. You
No,
can go
fuck the
ahead.
mean,
process. I'm so ready to say what I need to
Okay.
say right
Go
now.
ahead, Michael.
mean,
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna say it because I've been sitting on it for 2 weeks and I've listened to everybody that I know talk about this football team and I can't take it anymore. I can't take it
Uh-oh.
anymore. I
Oh
can't.
God.
The
Oh,
Bills
here
are
we go.
frauds.
Oh boy.
The Bills are frauds. They are. I They had the Dolphins beat in the second quarter. Undeniable. That team was done. There was no juice in that team. There was nothing there. Honestly, that week one game, we turned it around in the second half. We looked pretty good. But I walked away from that game. I just I didn't feel I didn't feel it. I didn't feel that spark. I didn't feel like, okay, this team has what it takes. This team can run the ball. Without a doubt. James Cook looks fantastic. Is there one receiver on this team right now that you really can say to yourself that you trust?
Yes, Khalil Shakir.
Khalil
Why?
Shakir. Great.
How?
What the
Because he
fuck do
is
you mean, how or why? Do you
How?
see? He's a dog, dude. He catches the
I'm not
ball.
denying that
He
he's
runs the
good.
dude over. What more do you
because
need?
Michael, because on
When
third down,
if you want to open up that play action game and you start running play action, are you gonna throw a fucking 50-yard dime to Khalil Shakir down the field?
No, you'll throw the
No.
12-yard pass to Dalton Kincaid for the first
see
down,
We
the
and
haven't
you run
play
the
seen it.
ball
action
We
again.
haven't seen it in the first 2 games.
You don't need to.
because those opportunities haven't presented themselves.
I
They're
No,
not
I I
playing
just
no.
think I
I
man-to-man
just think of it
mean,
like
schemes.
this. I just
yeah,
think of it like this.
they've been able to just run the ball. It'd be great.
Besides last year's team, because obviously they were old, decrepit, hurt,
Mhm.
and all that they had their Cinderella run.
Cinderella run. I told you it was going to happen.
It was still a Cinderella run. I mean, they went what, fucking 6-0 in the last
Yeah,
since
because
the
they had
Eagles game.
the democracy manifested themselves.
If Josh Allen has one subpar game, this team's gonna lose. If Josh Allen cannot will this team to win, this
I
team
don't
is not good
agree.
enough to win.
I
Mike,
don't
did you
agree at
not watch
all.
last
Did you
week?
not watch Thursday Night Football? Josh
Yes,
Allen
James
I
completed
don't.
the
Cook took
ball
over
I
the
don't.
whole
fifty
I
game.
don't think. I
times.
don't think. I don't think Mike has Amazon
That's the whole
Prime.
point. Let me go.
I
Here,
have
let me go.
Amazon
Let me
Prime.
go.
It was fourth down, and he gets a dump
Michael,
off pass because they blew the coverage, and there was no one on the
they
left
didn't
side of the
blow the
field.
coverage. Let me talk. Let me talk. They didn't blow the coverage, first of all. It was a mesh concept that muddied up the entire middle of the defense that freed up James Cook because our play
So they
caller
blew the coverage.
drew up a good
So they
play.
muddied up the middle of the field and blew the coverage.
Because that's not blowing the coverage. That's just
That's not
essentially
what is
a
that called?
pick. A
Oh,
pick, pretty
Mike.
much.
They said a pick to where
Mike.
not a morsel was on the left side of the field. He
Correct.
was butt
Mike.
naked. He was
Mike.
Because
butt
Mike, they
naked.
motioned him
Josh Allen
across
literally
and they got
told
him
how.
open.
Josh Allen literally goes, "Hey, they're just going to blitz everybody, so just call and say play again." And they
I like
did, and they blitzed
Josh
everyone. Nobody on
Allen.
the run back. I'm
Mark
like,
my words, the
whoa.
Bills are going to lose this football game.
Oh, Jesus
I'm
Christ!
They're
glad
going
that
to lose
you're
this
like
game.
so proud to
Here
be
we
They
like
are. I'm
this.
not happy
go.
about it, but they're going to lose this game.
Okay.
James Cook doesn't play like he's been playing the last 2 games. This passing offense just does not have the juice. I
Yeah,
think everyone is in fucking denial that they
yeah.
think that this passing
Mike,
offense is like this pristine, like, okay, we're going to run around with a bunch of C pluses and make it look like a fucking A minus. Game one, Josh Allen willed us into a win that game. Right or
Yeah,
wrong?
because
Right or
it's
wrong? Right
Pat
or wrong?
Pat
That's all you got to
Mahomes
do.
does the same thing.
Did Josh Allen will
It's
us to win that first football game?
yeah, because that's what you
Okay,
do when you
game
get a good
two. Was
quarterback.
that game not over in the second quarter?
Yeah, because
Did the
James Cook
Dolphins
just
look
kept
like
running
they
dudes in
already
the
lost?
face. Yeah, because they're a weak team. Did you not listen to last week's show?
So against Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker and how
You
good
should have
Devin
listened to
Lloyd's
last week's
looked,
show. We talked about
you think
this.
they're just going to be able to run the ball all over this defense?
They
yes.
did against the Cowboys. I mean, if we're going with
What the fuck was
heavy,
that, 8 games ago?
it was last
The
season,
Cowboys look
Mike.
like shit.
Oh,
Their
here.
defense does not look that good.
I mean,
It looks
The
good,
Browns
but
had a
it's
pretty fairly good job running against that defense, and they have Deshaun Watson at quarterback,
I'm
who
telling you
has
right
more
now, we're
sexual
gonna
assaults
fast
and
forward. We're gonna
touchdowns.
fast forward 10 weeks from now. We're gonna be talking at a lot different tone than we are right now. This 2-0 high
Christ.
has everyone just out of their fucking mind.
Why did we invite him back
I
on the
think it's
show?
a mixture of both though, because I feel like you're being way too drastic on
Get
this.
somebody.
Because
Get somebody. What the fuck are you
I
saying,
mean,
dog?
you're saying so this is what you said. You said
This
Josh
guy's
Allen willed
yapping.
us in the first game, right? You said
Yeah.
that?
He did. He had to carry us to that
Okay,
dub.
but
We
you
were there.
also said that if James Cook doesn't go off in the first 2 games, we're not winning.
So
James Cook
what is
barely
it, Chief?
had any impact in the game in the second half. When he did do well, the Bills got 3 points. Not everything's created equal. Josh Allen in the second game, you said he willing games into existence. They won without him. Defense made
The
plays.
Bills
That's
would have
the
lost that
reality.
game if Kyler Murray didn't miss Marvin Harrison butt
Oh
naked
my
10 yards
Did
down the
you
field.
watch the play,
God.
Michael? Did you watch it?
Yes. He was wide open.
Michael,
wide
he was on
open.
the left hash of the field when that play was. He wasn't throwing across his body. The play was already over with. It was a shit. I have the play. The Bills are playing palms, and I think Cam Lewis trapped the lane. And oh, sorry. Uh, he
That
trapped
was
the
more
lane.
insightful than anything Mike just said in the last 20 minutes.
I
You know
mean,
what? You're right. The Bills are going to win. Their offense looks just as good as it has in the last 5 years,
that's
and
not what
we're
I'm
not
saying.
delusional. It
I'm
doesn't. It doesn't.
I
If
mean,
we were 1-1, I'm telling you, we just wouldn't be talking in this same tone with such confidence. I think we're insane for being so confident in this team. It
Mike, did you
doesn't
not
look as
watch the
great as everyone's
Cardinals
making it to be.
throttle the Rams last week?
Yes, I did.
And the same Bills
And what did
team
Kyler Murray do?
beat them.
so
He didn't miss Marv. He
Kyler
hit
Murray
Marv, and
dunked
Marv
all
took over
over.
that game.
Michael, I want to
Yeah.
go here because you're saying that
who
the
put
Bills.
I told you. I told you already. Razul and Christian Benford put the clamps down on Marvin. Doom doom. No
You're
Marvin. Take
saying
him out of the picture.
so. You're saying the Bills won't be able to run all over the Jags, right?
I don't think so, no.
So we
Who's
have Josh Allen.
31st? Who's 31st in stopping the run right now in the NFL?
Probably the Jags.
The Jags.
Okay.
That's with those players you mentioned playing well.
Oh,
Right.
I'm going
So
to
there's
text you
ways
during
you
this
can
game.
run against this team
I'm going to
without.
text you during this game. I'm
Okay,
telling you
that's
right now.
fine.
I'm telling you right now.
I'm just telling you the facts and how they are because
Bills
the
are losing this
Bills.
game.
All right, that's fine. If you think that's the case, we'll put money on it.
what do you think the score is going to be? 12-7.
27-20.
Oh, okay. So
We'll get
you
into our
lying.
predictions later. Yeah.
You lying, man.
27-21, around that
This,
range.
folks at home, this guy's lying.
I'm
Because
not a
there's
lot.
no
A
Bills
liar.
Jags game has ever ended 27-20. That's not.
What the fuck does that have to do with anything, Trent?
Have you never noticed how these things work in trends? Like if you want to say the Jags are going to be a thorn in the Bills' side, I'll listen to that. They've been a thorn in the Bills' side since the Jaguars showed up in the
So the
NFL.
This
Bills
has been
lost
by
lost to
far.
the Bills lost to the Chiefs in 13 seconds. So does that mean if we play
Oh
the Chiefs again and
my
we have the ball with 12 seconds left that we can't lose because they don't have 13 seconds because we have to
Yes.
look at past games?
Yes, it does, actually.
Oh,
I'm done. I'm done.
I'm gonna go to X factors now, because there's a lot of interesting things going on in this game. A lot of interesting injuries. I'm going to start with the Jags. They're likely without Evan Engram, who, oddly enough, was the most targeted tight end in the NFL in 2023. So he eats up a vast majority of what they do in the middle of the field. And so losing him will hurt, but quick shout out to Brenton Strange, who's played pretty well in his absence for the Jags, kind of as an inline blocker. And I find tight end too, a lot like Dawson Knox, you take what you can get. But
Man.
not having him in the game, I think, is going to be very helpful for these young linebackers. We talked about the inexperience with this group last week, and now they're without Terrell Bernard. And Balin Spector is going to really be put to the test here. And he's got a lot of athleticism, a lot of nice tools. And the Bills seemingly always get a lot out of this position. But like Trent
I,
said,
I, I actually, I think we said this last week. I think when Sean McDermott has like seventh round picks and like dudes, shouldn't be out there. I think he locks in extra hard. Like we talk
yeah,
about locking in, this dude locks in. Like
yeah,
this
he
is like
does.
this is a level
Except when
like.
AJ Klein's on the field, except for when he
I,
plays.
to be fair, I mean, what can you do? This dude was literally wrenching on his RV, and they were like, "Hey,
It's funny because
can you
Spector would
go?
have
Can you
Spector would have
cover for
started in that
AJ
game if he wasn't
Absolutely.
hurt.
Yeah, that's right.
He was
That-
hurt. So yeah, I don't know. It's that's interesting. Also, the Bills, yeah, they no Bernard, a lot of inexperience, but the matchup I want to focus on is again a pass rusher matchup, which is Greg Rousseau versus young Anton Harrison. I don't know if you guys saw this clip, but he was going up against the Browns last week. Miles Garrett absolutely bodied this guy. And now Greg Rousseau is not Miles Garrett. He's not. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you get knocked off balance and put on your ass like that as a tackle, it's embarrassing. And your target goes on your back for every edge rusher that faces you. And the
Von
way
Miller
Greg
might
Rousseau is
eat this guy
playing,
for lunch.
it might be lunchtime for these pass rushers, which is huge against a team that really, when I look at the Jags, I don't know if you've seen the way they play. Like it's funny because they lead the league in plays over 20 yards. So they have those big chunk plays. They're tied for first. But they just can't move the chains. And the reason is their offensive line sucks. And the Bills need to take advantage of that. So my X factor is Greg Rousseau. and him dominating his matchup. And if
I
the
actually
Bills
didn't
can
know that
continue,
fact about the chunk plays. That's kind of.
it is.
Brian Thomas
I,
Jr.
I was
Big
just gonna
role, man.
say Brian Thomas is a big
Hey,
part of that.
do you want to know what the Bills do the most? Like, do their calling card,
Say it, Trent.
not
Say the
give,
line.
not giving up chunk plays.
There it is. There it is.
And guess what team they're facing? A team that does chunk plays.
Yeah. They kind of been living and dying with those big plays. And I don't know who said it. I think it might have been Travis Etienne or it was somebody on the Jags, but they said that they really need to just stop, big play hunting and just keep it simple and, extending drives. And so they'll probably work hard on that today, but I'm sure they're going to be very tempted to go to Brian Thomas down the sideline. But I'll go to Mike now. You haven't spoken in a bit here, so who's going to be your X factor? I know you're not confident going into this game.
Oh man,
You're seemingly
this guy, this
anti-Bills
guy.
this episode. This
Yeah,
guy's like when I talk to Mike
he
most of the
was.
time. He's Mr. Optimist. Even with
Yeah,
the
he's
Sabres, I get him to be optimist, but. Give us at least an X factor you think going into this game.
this guy
If
was
he
down in
does well,
Miami
it
during
could
this
do very
week.
well for the Bills.
Listen, my pessimism should say everything you need to know. Okay.
Okay.
So I think the biggest X factor, I'm going to give you an X factor for both teams.
Okay.
I think the biggest X factor for the Bills is going to be, can Christian Benford keep being a dog?
Yeah.
Because if Christian Benford can lock down that other side with Rasul Douglas, I mean, that'll take away those big plays like, we just talked about, and probably neutralize this offense if that's really all they can rely upon. And I'd say my biggest X factor for the Jags is going to be Christian Kirk. Christian Kirk has not gotten going in these first two games, and yes, their offensive line is not very good, but if he can be that gadget guy where he can hit him on third downs or, just hit him for decent chunks, first downs, 15 yards, I mean, it's gonna change the dynamic of this offense for the Jags.
For sure. Trent, what do you think?
Well, I mean, what more can I say that I haven't already said?
He
We'll go.
blanked.
He
All right,
blanked.
sorry.
He's folding under the pressure. The lights were too bright.
Clip it.
I'd go X Factor being Curtis Samuel.
Okay.
If we're talking about dudes and man, and the Jags only run man, and I mean, if we're looking for somebody that's going to try to be a man beater, it's either going to be Dolan Kincaid, just being Dolan Kincaid and get going, or Curtis Samuel with the speed.
Not Khalil Shakir.
Khalil Shakir, I mean, we know he's going to be. We talk about X factors, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like differentials, parts of the game. I mean, we feel like the Bills' offense, the big three, if you will. Josh Allen, James Cook, Khalil Shakir. That's been the Bills' big three this year.
Our big three has Khalil Shakir.
Yes, it does. Get used to it, pal.
God, how the mighty have fallen.
Hey, the Bills' big three last year also had Khalil Shakir in it when they went
Yeah, it
6-0. So get ready, pal. This the
Saddens me.
The best way I've heard about Khalil Shakir is Khalil Shakir should have been a wide receiver in the 2004 AFC North,
Yeah.
where they were having gunfights every single game. Khalil Shakir was like, you can't tell me that if Khalil Shakir went to the past, he would have been a perfect like wide receiver opposite Hines Ward. Like this is the dude that should have been playing. He should have been a Baltimore
Khalil
Raven,
Shakir,
having Kyle Bowler throw it to him.
like Mike's like depressed over there, but it's like
Dude,
I don't.
he's a
The Bills
dog.
Bro,
the
it's
Bills are
Khalil
fine.
Shakir, dog. Like,
Get used
yeah,
to it.
he's good.
He's got his breakout year now,
But he's
dog.
just good. He's
All
This
right.
guy's a Madden merchant.
fuck the
I
Mad
mean,
Merchant. He's just good.
Oh, this guy's
it's
a
not a
Madden
bad problem
merchant.
to have. It's really not. The
Oh,
Bills
it
got.
ain't a good one either.
They have. All right. They have guys that can eat. All right, we've seen it. The
Listen,
Bills' whole
they got
motto this year
dogs.
is that everybody can eat, and
They got
that's what you're going to have
dogs.
to live with. You need to get over that fact. It's been a long time. We have a whole offseason to discuss about the Bills' wide receiver corps. You could have gotten that out then.
Everyone
Right
loves
now,
Joe
the
Brady
Bills
until it's
have Khalil
actually time to see
Shakir.
Joe
They
Brady
have Curtis
coach.
Samuel. They have Dalton Kincaid. They have these playmakers, and this is what it's going to be. And look, there's going to be different weeks where some guys are popping off, and you won't hear a peep out on another guy. That's just how it is. The Bills want to live and die with that, and we'll see how it ends at the year end. If
We
it
gotta do
ends up
that.
working out, great. It's
I mean,
awesome. It's gonna work out perfectly.
I think Ben and I talked about this. Like that's what the Chiefs did. They got rid of Tyreek Hill, and everyone's like, "Who the hell's Pat Mahomes throwing to?" And then he won a Super Bowl.
Mhm.
He still had
So,
Travis Kelsey.
Still had
oh yeah,
Travis Kelsey, but we're
so
talking about wide receivers.
yeah, we
It's
got
different ball
Dalton
game here.
Kincaid and Dawson Knox. So it like they say in Moneyball, you gotta recreate in the aggregate, and we've
Yeah.
recreated Travis Kelsey in the aggregate.
Yeah.
Besides,
I
So,
think
so you said
Noah.
we're going to live and die by everybody eating.
Yes.
All right, our funeral is Saturday, January 11th, 2025.
My
right, that's great.
God. Who invited this guy on the show?
like
Just
you're
saying.
just dragging everybody down
Team's
today.
not making an AFC
I was
I
in
want
a-
to like
final
I
kick
was
you
in
out
a
of this
good-
Sure as
car
shit.
right now. I
I was
really
in a
Team's
do.
good
not a Super
mood.
Bowl contender. They're just
Oh
not.
my God.
Okay.
Who is? Who is?
Not the
Who-
Bills.
who-
Not the Bills.
You can
who's-
say that confidently in
who's-
week 2,
Yeah.
Who's a Super Bowl
and based
contender
off of
then?
what? Based off of
Yeah.
what? Because they don't have enough
The eye
playmakers.
test. It's not even
The
just
eye
play.
test. The eye
Yes.
test. This team scored 30 points back to back. One on the road by 21
Yeah.
points against a
You'll see.
divisional rival, and it just beat the
You'll
team
see.
that will beat the Rams by 30
You'll see.
points
You'll
by
see.
scoring 30 points.
I
You'll
think I
see.
need to take
What do you
these
mean we'll
glasses
see?
off.
All
I
the
need to give him
results
the
so
mic.
far have been good, and you're
You'll
talking
see.
about an eye test.
You'll
And
see.
you're talking about an eye test.
I think
You'll
Mike
see.
needs. I think Mike needs to go to the eye doctor.
Mike
You'll
needs to
see.
take a visit to Aaron Rodgers. That's what he needs to
This
do.
is a
I think Mike
this
visited
is a
Aaron Rodgers.
divisional round loss team all over it.
Okay.
Oh,
And
Christ.
you know what? That's what my expectation was going into this year. We all knew going into this year it was a reset year.
I'm just not
That's still
happy
my
with
expectation.
that. I'm just not happy.
But
with
guess
that.
what? I said it on Twitter. It's starting to slightly shift. The Bills have a pass rush now. If it can stay like this consistently, I'm just saying right now, this pass rush can win consistently like this. This is a different ball. This is a different ball club. I'm telling you right now. And especially against an offensive line with the Jags, they're 24th in pass block win rate, 22nd in run block win rate. They have an old center who I love Mitch Morse for everything he did with the Bills. He's not the
still
same
got
player he
still got
was.
some gas in the tank, but
He's got a
you know,
little bit, but he's not the same player he was.
Yeah.
And
I just
Anton
can't.
Harris,
I
Right.
just can't take the
Mike,
hope anymore.
you
I just
you
can't
told
do it anymore.
you told all year.
So would you
all
rather-
offseason.
would you
I
rather
don't
be in
know.
the
I
drought
don't know
against
what I
that?
would rather be, but I just can't do this for the fucking 5th year in a row. I
Mike.
just can't fucking do it. After
Mike.
Tyler Bass shit the bed, after Sean McDermott has been a fucking idiot in the last 2 minutes of the game every fucking year. He almost did it again this Cardinals game, but we somehow held on. Oh wow, thank the heavens in week 1. Fuck me. You don't think he's going to do that at least twice this year? I can't do it anymore. I can't take it anymore. I can't watch this fucking team go 11-6, 10-7, fucking 12-5, and then we go
13-4.
play the Bengals in the fucking divisional round and get shit on. No,
Nah,
fuck
Lou
the Bengals.
Amarillo-
It's not even going to be the
Lou
Bengals because they
Amarillo
can't even run the fucking ball because they cut Joe Mixon because they're dumb as fuck too and don't want to pay anyone. Save $9 million. Look how that's worked out for you. Zach Moss, fucking 12 carries, 40 yards. Congratulations. Fucking
Mike-
Paige Jamar Chase. But that's
Mike-
besides the point. Okay. I can't sit here anymore and just be like, you know what? The Bills look great. The Bills look fucking great because I've seen what great looks like. I have seen fucking greatness, okay? And I went through fucking 17 years of fucking shit. Absolute shit. And I can't sit here and be like, you know what? We have Josh Allen. Everything's going to be okay. Will it probably be okay? Yeah, but I want to see it. I just want to make the Super Bowl. I don't even care if we fucking win it. I just want to make it. I just want that ignorant bliss of like, wow, you know what? It was worth it. This fucking I don't care. It's week 2. I don't give a shit. The Dolphins are fucking terrible. They are literally the epitome of frauds. If it's below 72 degrees, they can't win a fucking football game. They can't do it. They can't. Tua is
Mike, you're-
fucking
you're-
ass. He probably
You're
should
about to
never play
knock the
football
camera
ever
into the
again.
fish tank.
Because I can't fucking take it anymore.
Take a breath, Michael. Round of applause. Round of applause. You're about to be on my For You page on TikTok because that was wow.
God.
But I'm serious. This
But
team
you're about
is
to pop a
breaking
blood
me.
vessel.
It's breaking
Calm
me.
down.
It's hurting my fucking soul. Tyler Bass took my soul last year, okay? And until
All
I
right.
see a reason to truly believe
Oh my
again,
God.
I just can't do it.
He can't do it.
I don't wanna- I
I
don't
think
wanna
the
rile you up
Trent. I
anymore.
think the
Mike.
Jags have broken Mike. They have just broken him.
I think my comment about like, oh, the Bills should have Tyreek Hill and Marvin Harrison Jr.
You sparked this whole thing. You took the match. You had the
You threw
gasoline.
that
You
shit in
poured it
there.
all over, and then you just dropped it.
Because
right there.
I think this team just pisses me off because I just know what I
Look, Mike,
want.
I've gone on record. I've said it multiple times. I agree with you. Like I get where you're coming from, but every year is a new year, and like I can't play. I'm not gonna sit here and play the game where it's like I'm giving up on this team in week
Ben, I don't
2.
want to
Like
be
I'm gonna
sad
be a
anymore.
fan.
Mike,
I'm gonna
I
be
don't
a
want to
fan.
wake
I'm
up
gonna
the
give them
next
hope.
day after a
I got
playoff
a
loss
football
and be
team for
fucking
you then,
depressed
pal.
anymore.
I got a
Man,
football team for you. It's the Seattle Seahawks. Just watch those guys because I think those guys will just alleviate all your problems.
They still won. They won one. They made it. They made it.
they did. Look, let me tell you this. All right, I like you could do this all day long every year. Like, okay, Bills aren't gonna
I'm
win
just
Super Bowl this
I'm
year.
just
Like,
confused
I'm not.
what
I just
sparked
don't want to
this.
do that. Like, it's just exhausting at that point.
It is exhausting, but I'm exhausted. I'm
Why?
Okay,
exhausted
You need
it's
midnight to
because I
sleep.
just feel like it's this.
You
It's a
need to go to
different year,
bed.
same shit.
then
What do you mean?
don't have those. You shouldn't set your expectations
Mike,
so high. Then
didn't we
you're just gonna
talk
let yourself
all
down.
off season?
I don't
Wasn't
want to give myself expectations
there
because
was
I
a
can't
For You
stand it
clip.
anymore.
I watched it on Twitter of you talking about like, oh, I don't want Josh Allen to have to carry this team. I'm tired of Josh Allen carrying this team. We just come off a game
And
where
what's he
Josh Allen.
doing?
We just came off a game where Josh Allen could have
Well,
just
you threw the ball
just
16
Oh my
times.
fucking god, are you shitting me? Are you shitting
we
me?
could have won
Kyle
that game.
Orton could have beat that Dolphins team. That Dolphins team looked fucking defeated as fuck. There was no life in that team. They
Yeah,
were dead.
because
They were dead.
that's because they got
And
right in the face
it's
over and over
ironic who
again.
killed their season. It's ironic.
Okay.
Yeah, Josh
All
Allen.
right. I think yeah, that's okay.
The actual X factor is Mike because they were just gonna play this
I
over
hope
the
I'm wrong. I
speakers.
hope I'm wrong.
let's just put Mike in the B gap and let him raise hell. I
I
mean,
just hope I'm wrong.
Jesus.
I pray to
I think
Christ that
Mike
I'm
could be a
wrong.
great. I think Bill's been struggling with one thing,
Sean
so
McDermott gets
we
his
just
hands
put
on you, it's game over. All right.
Sean McDermott turned him into Mike.
Sean McDermott makes me
Justin
feel the
Zimmer,
same
look
way Ronnie
out!
2K makes me feel,
Okay.
which is just
But
like
You
I
just
just
doesn't
name dropped Ronnie 2K on
yeah,
a Bills
fuck Ronnie
podcast.
2K. Yeah, I did.
Wow. Okay.
Sean
okay?
McDermott just makes me
I am
feel
very old. Who
nothing
is
but
that?
anger.
He's a developer on
A shit
the
stain.
basketball video game.
Yep.
I wanna
Okay,
just move forward here. As
the
Mike
hell.
continues to enrage himself and turn redder and redder, move his camera even more to the
Mike,
left.
don't worry. If you
Um,
put your head into the fish tank, you can yell as loud as you want, and nobody can hear you. I
yeah,
heard that's a good way to do
exactly,
it, so you might
exactly.
need to do that for us. But
So, as far as game predictions, we already kind of got Mike's, but
yeah,
look, I'm gonna sit here. I'm gonna give you mine. Look, I think they're gonna win. All right, you might think I'm crazy, Mike, but I do. You go
I don't
back to
think you're
these
crazy.
games.
I just
Okay. Well, you seem like the world's falling apart and everything's just burning on
we're
fire and
2
we're living in
0.
hell and we're burning
We
alive
literally
and
just
we're
had a game where Josh Allen threw 15 times and defeat
I
the
don't know how you could
Dolphins.
come on this podcast the following week and have this
This is
attitude.
because I've been
this.
sitting on it since week 1.
They
All right.
literally, Mike, they literally did the thing that you've been asking them to do, and you
Trent
come on the show
Jack
and
looked at me at the game
go,
and goes, "Why don't you look happy?" And I'm like, "Because I'm just fucking not. I'm just not happy with what the fuck I just seen. I'm just
Oh,
not." And then
guess
I
what,
watched that game
pal?
last week and I could have went to sleep after the first quarter.
I had copious amounts of alcohol watching both games, and both games made me smile and have a good time. So I think your
that's a
promise.
great approach to have. Good job, Trent.
Hey,
I admire you.
listen. The first game was I was telling you at 9 a.m. and I just downed like a half thing of moonshine because I was like, moonshine is nobody's drinking. I was like, I'll drink that. And then second game I was at Watkins Glen, so obviously I'm gonna have some beer. I'm
Yeah.
just chilling around all day at racetrack with no race cars. I'm like, well, gotta
Yeah.
do something.
I just think this isn't a game they're playing in Jacksonville. This isn't
Nope,
a game in London.
nope.
It's a different environment. The Jags are gonna come to us. They're reeling right now, and the Bills are confident, and confidence is key in this league. And as much as you want to poke holes about this team, oh, they've never gotten over the hump. They've hurt me over all these years. I get it. I do. I sympathize with you. But here's the reality: the Bills, they are a different team. Offensively, they're different. Defensively, they're different. You go back to last year. Trent said the same thing that he did on last episode. They have started to shift a little bit away, slowly by slowly, from giving up those big plays. They're starting to be a little bit more aggressive. They're switching things up. And look, if you want anything to be hopeful about, it's that. It's a team willing to be adaptive and change things up and move forward and not dwell on the past and make that mistake. Because if you're willing to change and adapt in this league, which is ever evolving, it's great. And the Bills are doing that, and I think there's reason for optimism and there's reason for pessimism too. I'm certainly going to agree with that. But look, this team is a going to be a team that's led by Josh Allen. This team embodies Josh Allen. This team has a run game. They have a pass rush, and they have playmakers on defense. And they look the offensive playmakers. It's not anything to be proud of, but this team has a formula to win football games, and I think this is a game they can take care of that. And the Jags, with all the holes they've had and the problems they've had in the trenches, where the Bills' strengths have been early in the season, I think they should be able to handle it. So I'm going 27-20 Bills, and I think the home field advantage is gonna help them. So I'm going the opposite of what you said, 27-20 Jags. Trent, what's your score prediction? Please don't go 27-20 because that'd be the third 27-20 on this podcast.
Listen, y'all got it all wrong. There's never been a Bills Jags game that's been normal.
Fucker.
Period. You go back and look at Bills Jags
true.
forever. Different
That whole fucking
coaches,
thing just
different
froze.
different coaches, different fields, different everything. There's never been a normal Bills Jags game. Not one
Mhm.
Bills Jags game's ever been normal.
Right.
So with that in mind, I'm going to go Buffalo Bills 32, Jacksonville Jaguars 15.
The
Ooh,
fuck score is that?
spicy.
32-15 scoregami.
Yeah, exactly. Because
Is it?
It's Bills Jags on Monday night. It's going to get stupid.
Yeah, it probably will
Um,
be.
and it'll probably be a dumb close game until Trevor Lawrence, I don't know, like mishandles the snap and tries to throw it and throws it right into like
Balen Spector, pick six.
Balen's like a Balen Spector pick six.
There you
That'll
go.
be what cinches the game
Okay.
because that's just Bills Jags. Like
Yeah.
the
I mean,
Jags, like historically the Jags were the team that knocked Jim Kelly out of the playoffs.
they were. They
Like
were. Yeah, that's right.
yeah, like they have historically been a weird thorn in the Bills side
Yeah.
forever.
Even going back to the Nathan Peterman game-losing interception against Jalen Ramsey in the playoffs.
Which
Um,
again, it was a 10-3 playoff game with a little bit of wind, and everyone acted like they couldn't throw the football because the quarterbacks were Tyrod Taylor and like Bortles.
oh my! I was so like
that was
that
a
was
real
the.
playoff game.
I can't believe that happened.
10-3.
Yeah,
Final score.
After
crazy.
17 years, we got that.
I
It's
remember.
better than nothing. Honestly, I
Listen,
would have taken that
listen,
20
We
times.
did take it. We did
it-
take it. And I took it gladly. I took it to the fucking chin.
it was
Okay. But then,
it
oh
was the
man.
after part. Listen, the
God,
playoff game didn't
God
matter.
damn it.
It did not matter because
This
the Bills
fucking
did it.
team. This team.
No, we got Mike and Mike. Just scream into the pillow, Mike.
Because I just think of every fucking year and I just can't do it anymore. I just can't.
You'll be okay. I'll
Mike,
give
I
you a
know
nice
Dale
No,
beer
I
in
Gabriel
there
hope
didn't
you
win
every
tonight.
leave
tomorrow.
the
You only got
kumbaya
7. It's
circle that we're
okay.
eventually gonna have to fucking sit in because
Yeah.
it's just gonna be another year.
Yeah, I
Well,
think
some of us
that's
are optimistic about the Buffalo Bills.
yeah, I
Yeah, our
clearly
buddy Jack thinks they're gonna go 15-2. So
No, they're going to go 13-4. It's written in stone. They
Mhm.
do they win 13 games every other year. It's an even year. They're going to win 13 games.
Trent's been dying on that hill.
Listen,
Um,
I follow trends, and
yeah,
the trends of the cycle.
and our trend is that we don't make the Super Bowl.
and their trend is that it gets
And
more
the trend
depressing every year.
is Mike's just going to be like, Mike, do you how would you prefer which Grand Island Bridge would you prefer?
We lost to Blake Bortles. We lost to a rapist. We lost in the AFC title game.
Oh my
13
God.
seconds. We got fucking dog
Oh,
walked by the Bengals. Tyler Ass sold our season and our entire team
oh.
died.
That's
Now,
not including you didn't include Hail Murray or the Justin Jefferson catch and the fumble at the goal line.
those weren't playoff games, but you know what? That sells it too.
Oh,
Jalen
Justin
Hurts
Jefferson
walk-off
catch was a
touchdown.
beauty.
I get it. Yeah, I
do
mean,
you
look,
want to go back to Stevie Johnson dropping the ball or getting Tony Romo to throw
Okay,
5
but we had
receptions still
Fitzpatrick.
losing?
Ryan
Or
Fitzpatrick is the greatest shitty quarterback of all time.
What else could we go back to?
Yeah.
I think there was a week 2 game against the Patriots. The Bills committed like 20 penalties, and that's why they lost.
Like when we lost like 56 to fucking 3 on
No,
prime
19
time.
to 3. 19 to 17 against the Patriots. I remember reading it. Tom Donahoe was no, not Tom Donahoe. Oh, it might have been Tom Donahoe. I
Moral of
don't
the
know.
story, Bills fans, wake the fuck up.
Yeah.
Week three's great. It's
Wake up.
here.
My,
If we
my,
win, great. But in the grand scheme, does it fucking matter? No. It's
the,
all about the
You have a
playoffs.
very bleak
Get me to the
outlook on
playoffs.
football.
Get
My
me to
gosh.
the
this is
playoffs. Get me to the
this
playoffs.
is an Alex
Get
Jones
me to the
show.
playoffs, and then we could start talking. Okay,
All right.
then we could fucking.
Mike's gonna come on the show next week wearing tinfoil hat to say the Warriors turned the Frogs and the Jets fans.
Yeah, I think that about covers it. Yeah, this was the Mike episode, big time.
My
I mean,
God,
he
Mike.
really set the tempo here.
Mike, you
Yeah, it
weird
should
about
be. I
your
mean,
buddy.
look, it's still good. I mean, it's fun to see
988, pal.
Monday Night Football. It's always a good game to see. And I don't know if we're getting the 18. I don't think we're getting Joe Buck or Troy Aikman. I think we're getting the other guys, but
Wait, are we getting Chris Fowler and Kirk
So
Herbstreit?
we don't even
Dan
get the good
Orlovsky.
fucking analysts either.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean,
don't
I did always happens at the doubleheader like that. The
I mean,
earlier slot
don't get me
gets the.
wrong. I will gladly take Chris Fowler. Like
I
UB
like Chris
sucks enough;
Fowler.
they
I
will
do.
never ever like. I don't even get Chris Fowler in the video game to
Anything's
call
better
my
than Tony
games.
Romo and Chris Collinsworth. That's all I gotta say.
Really,
They're on two
they're
different
not that
broadcast
bad.
networks.
Doesn't matter. They could be fucking spectating kangaroos jumping in a race, and they'd still compare it to the Kansas City Chiefs and fucking Patrick Mahomes. I swear to God, I sit there and watch the coverage, and I look at my girlfriend, and I'm like, it's a matter of fucking time. And
Yeah,
someone could go stub their toe, and they'd be like, Patrick Mahomes would never do that shit. He would have unstubbed his toe, rolled out of the pocket, and threw a 32-yard dime across the fucking seams.
yeah. Uh, this was an interesting episode. This is gonna be something. I'm gonna have a lot of fun editing.
Remember, kids, call 988 if you're having any doubts.
And also, if if you're a Bills fan, and you want some therapy, never go to Mike. Never talk to him in a
Please.
moment of need. Please don't. Talk to me and Trent. We'll
Yeah.
guide you because Mike is gonna
They'll
send
leave
you
you
off that
alone,
bridge.
And
fucking
if we
pain
can't
and
give you the
sadness.
answers you want, you can call up my good friends Jim and Jack. They gave me a good time last weekend, so
Yeah.
they'll help you out.
Yeah, it was a fun episode. Thanks for everybody tuning in. This will be going up on YouTube soon, Spotify as usual, Apple
Anywhere for
Podcasts,
your visual and audio
and
consumption.
audio pleasure. Yep. Links will be in the description below. We will be posting clips of Michael mainly on TikTok for the next 24 to 48 hours and lead up to this game.
Crazy.
So yeah, everybody have a good night. And most of all, go Bills.
Oh,
And
Bill, please, for
of
Mike's
course, Michael's not
sake.
going to say it because he's just
Because I can't.
Oh,
over
That's
there
true.
in
Mike.
pain,
I'm telling
slowly
you. I know. I'm the
decomposing.
saddest person to have a 2-0 football team probably in the history of man.
Mike.
You're just a
There,
sad person in general, okay?
Mike,
I guess so.
Jets
I
fans
mean,
and
my
Patriots
gosh.
fans exist.
Could be a
Wish
I
lot
would
could
rather
worse.
be a
they could be a lot
Patriots
worse.
fan right now.
Oh
Are you
my
kidding me? I would trade my foot
God.
to be a Patriots fan right now. You got Tom Brady for 20 fucking years.
We're talking right now. I don't want to talk about that. But yep, everybody have a good night. This was
Good night. Don't let the
this was
bed
an
bugs
interesting
bite.
one.
Get me
Yeah,
the fuck
don't
out
let
of
the
here,
bed bugs
please.
bite. Yeah.